kids in 13 minutes last night. My goal's to get in 10, and then do 15. Well, thank you all, President Randy, Dan, and the rest of the Rotarians. Thank you especially for praying for us today. I tell you what, God gets an earful for me every day on this day. Certainly appreciate it. Certainly appreciate it. Talking about the Louisville, Southern Indiana, Ohio River Bridges project. This is a bi-state project, Kentucky and Indiana, as well as a full federal oversight by the Federal Highway Administration. This makes up your bi-state management team. And we're developing and delivering this whole project. Now, this whole project you see up here is the downtown bridge as well as the eastern bridge. When we first started, we broke it up into 6 sections. The downtown crossing are sections 1, 2, and 3, which Kentucky has a lead on. And Ron here will tell you about sections 4, 5, and 6, the eastern crossing. So the downtown crossing. This is made up of Kennedy Interchange, Getty Junction. It's where I-64, I-65, I-71 all come together in downtown Louisville. We're doing that work, moving traffic. Section 2 is the new bridge, the new cable stayed bridge that we're building across the Ohio River in downtown Louisville. It's also the redecking of the Kennedy Bridge here. The new bridge will carry northbound traffic, the Kennedy Bridge will carry southbound traffic. Section 3 is the Indiana approach. We go about a mile up into southern Indiana, Jeffersonville, widening the interstate, addressing some work in the collector distributor system there, as well as the approach on the northern approach of the Park Memorial Bridge, US 31. And we stop about Stansford Avenue. So let's see if this. So here you see the video. It's an animation of the downtown crossing. You see flying over the completed interchange. Traffic is heading northbound on the new bridge on your right side. Coming southbound on the old bridge. We're eliminating the weeds that you experience now in the interchange. And here you come across, you see the view. See the cable stayed bridge looking up into a pretty August sky like today. So this will be about August 2017. That's about when this grass and everything's done. And it washes out of here. Looking nice. So there's the bridge at night. It has aesthetic lighting. So what does it take to build this? Well, in 2012, December 2012, we went through a procurement process Kentucky did to procure the best value team for the downtown crossing. We didn't do low bid. We looked at the technical proposal, their schedule, their cost, as well as their DVE plan. So this is their disadvantaged business enterprise plan. How are they going to incorporate those businesses into this project? Scored all that. Walsh was the best value team. So now they got here in December. We've been working hard since then. And at its peak, you're going to have about 400 plus workers, subcontractors on the project. This is your professional. These are also your labor going on. In addition to that, I think we may be of particular interest in why Wayne and Caterpillar are here today. You've got 60 plus overpasses and bridges, 1.3 million cubic yards of material in the downtown crossing. It's a whole lot of material coming in that needs to be constructed moving around. And we're doing all this under traffic feet. 538,000 feet of pipe. That's your steel I-beam. That's being driven into the ground. You may hear a hammer from time to time, knocking that down. You got 538,000 feet of that. So it's going under your bridge lines. Quite a bit of work. 442,000 tons of that. Now, what was probably the biggest win of the project was that we got a bid in 18 months ahead of our prescribed date of June 30, 2018. The Walsh Design Build team came in with a completion date, a substantial completion date of December 9th, 2016. That was a big win for the project. So instead of having to deal with 5 years of traffic nightmare and construction impacts, it's 3.5 years. You're cutting it off 18 months short. The new bridge, the new cable stayed bridge across the Ohio River will be open April 2016. That's when it'll be in a temporary configuration. We'll have bi-directional traffic off there. We'll be on a new bridge in April 2016. That's very exciting. I know we've talked about this project for a long time, or certainly Louisville has. It's been in the lexicon for a long time. Now we're actually seeing But in order to accomplish that, you can see here the schedule. We're working on all 3 sections at the same time. It's not you're not heading south and moving up, creating, building everything in your wake. It's everything going all at once, and that's what you need to do to get this thing done. And it's as some of you may be experiencing now, there is traffic impacts related to that. We're doing all this under traffic. So here's the new downtown bridge. You've seen all the barge traffic going through there now. That'll be maintained through the project. The new bridge will accommodate, it'll be the same width, the same channel width as the existing Kennedy Bridge. It'll be right to the east of it. It'll be 2,100 feet long with 3 towers. They're out there now working on those tower foundations. The deck will be about 71 feet above water. And again, lots of concrete, lots of steel. I mentioned the foundations for the towers. If you go out there now, if you go out to Lincoln parking lot, and I'm not sure if some of y'all, but I've seen adults come down there just like, you was a kid, come down and check out the construction. It's really cool. If it had going on in the park right there, that could be that accessible, that you can see what's going on. I see people coming down and doing that on their lunch. It's pretty neat. But if you look behind the fence, you can see a 12-foot diameter casing. That's being taken down the riverbed, being bored down, going through the muck, getting into the rock, and you're socketing in the rock there. It's going to be about 100 foot deep below the tile cap. We're moving all the material inside there, backfilling with the steel and concrete. You'll have 4 per tower, and then put your tower cap on and build on up. These are massive, massive undertakings. It's going on right now. We're building downtown interchange. And I say we're doing some training 3 or 4 times. But Bill Julick, who first started this project back for the cabinet back in maybe '98, talked about how to do this work. He said it's like doing open heart surgery on a guy while he's playing tennis. I see. I don't think Washington's experiencing that type of difficulty. But it kind of goes to what I see as one of the biggest challenges of this project is maintenance of traffic, making sure that everyone's informed of what's going on. But what we're doing with the downtown interchange, you're widening I-65, and downtown Louisville, you're widening to the west. In Jeffersonville, you're widening to the east. We are separating your movement. So now, if you're coming up westbound on 64, and you want to go north or south, you're being merged with the I-71 traffic that also wants to go north or south. We're separating all that out. It'll be northbound with northbound, southbound will be southbound. We're eliminating those weeds. That's one of the biggest things of this. We're also introducing a collector distributor system on the Kentucky side, which we don't have now. It'll be south of I-64. So all those movements getting on and off the interstate will be done offline, similar to how it's done on the water. You mentioned the traffic impacts. We have a project website, and Ron will point to that at the end of his presentation, that has all this information up there. We have about 200,000 vehicles per day just to be interchange alone, and we're having to maintain as we're building this thing. We have a commitment of the project to maintain two lanes of traffic on the interstate at all times. We do have some overnight lane closures. We'll go down to one between 9 p.m. and 5 a.m. We will have some ramp closures. You're experiencing that now. I-64 eastbound to I-65 southbound is closed for about the duration of the project. That is the lowest used ramp, or least used ramp in the interchange. You may also experience some benefit of that as you're coming off of 64 to head south. You won't have the traffic coming in from your right side there. You're also seeing work on the surface streets, Market, Main, and Witherspoon. Some of this is to accommodate our utility relocation. Some of this is to accommodate the I-64 ramp removal. Now, on the Indiana side, not as big of an impact right now as you cross the river on northbound. You see that the exit 0, that ramp is reduced a little bit. Also up around Stansford and the loop to get on 10th Street, there's some restriction there as well. In addition to the MOT, maintenance of traffic being an issue. or a challenge, I should say. Another challenge is to make sure all of you all, as well as the rest of Louisville and Southern Indiana, are aware of what we're doing out there. We know this is an impact. We know this is no fun. At least not for you guys. Construction is interesting to me, but traffic is not. Traffic, getting stuck in traffic is, and being able to depend on the information that you're getting, that's very important to us. And so we are updating the website twice weekly as necessary, even more frequently as if the situation presents itself. We also have open houses. We have one at the Melbourne Arts Center this spring. We'll have another one in the fall in Southern Indiana, and that'll be annual. We also meet with groups such as yourself, municipalities, to talk about what the project's doing, what the schedule is, and what they can expect. So, project website, we also have a Twitter account and Facebook. So we're doing what we can and making sure that everybody, if you listen, you know, we have a ramp closed, you know, this lane's closed from this time to this time. We want people to be able to plan as they get through this project. And with that, I'd like to turn it over to Ron Houston, the descent process.
Thanks, Andy. One of the things about this project has been the unique opportunity for two states to partner to do a project of this size, this magnitude. And it's really been an opportunity for me to meet folks from other transportation departments and from other agencies that have worked with. And you guys have been great. This has been a good partnership for, hopefully, for both of us.
Same here.
Yeah. And we're going to make that partnership a little closer by connecting everything together here, which is kind of what the East End Crossing is all about. Andy talked a little bit about their procurement and bringing Walsh on board. Just briefly, on the East End Crossing, our partner out there is Walsh Vinci Buildinger as our developer. It's a P3 contract, which is a little different method. But same Walsh company, two separate groups as far as their management teams. But here with, as a guest today is Rob Morphonius, who is the project director for WBB East End Partners. Rob, just raise your hand here so they know who to blame. So, in one way or another, every time I do a presentation, I like to start with a map. Usually I hold out the 4, 5, and 6 over there on the East End Crossing and ask the question, what's missing? Because it's pretty obvious what's missing from the Louisville metropolitan area, and that's that East End Crossing to complete the loop around the Louisville metropolitan area. So that's where we're at, about 8 miles upstream, like Andy said. Our intention is to get that done here pretty quickly. Same length of time that he's working on. We've got some nice animations that were produced by our partners, WBB. So the East End Crossing is mainly the bridge, is the point behind it. You can see here it includes a shared use path across it. Nice looking view. And in 3.5 years, you'll be able to go out on that dock and see that view of it. So, traffic moving across to the Indiana side from Kentucky here, and back the other way. So that's our goal, is mainly to get that done. We've got some other pieces of it that are part of the project. Section 4 is the Kentucky approach, the road work in Section 4, and some of the features that are in Section 4. It's about a 3-mile section of roadway. There's around 2 million yards worth of excavation that has to take place out there. One of the interesting things is some of that excavation is coming down to the downtown project, so it's a reuse of material. It's not being wasted. About 180,000 square yards of concrete pavement. They're using HMA on the asphalt on the downtown. Got to be careful about the acronyms, right? And concrete pavement on the east end. Some of the main features are there's also a 2,000-foot long approach bridge just to get from Kentucky onto the main bridge. There's a 1,200-foot long bridge over Harrods Creek, and about a 187-foot bridge that's Wolf Pen Branch that will go over KY 841, the Gene Schneider Expressway. Now, 187-foot long bridge isn't very spectacular, but the fact that currently the Gene Schneider goes over Wolf Den Branch by some 25 feet, and in the future, 841, Gene Schneider will go over Wolf Den Branch by about 20 some odd feet. There's a 50-foot change in the elevation of KY 841 or Gene Schneider Freeway that makes that possible. Wolf Den Branch doesn't change grade, it stays in the same location. And the other interesting feature, of course, is the tunnel, a twin-bore, 1,800-foot long tunnel. And we got a real nice little picture here, shows you how the construction is going right now. They simply drive in, they drill, they set some charges in the holes they just drilled, and then blow it up, no more dust than that. Move in, grab hold of it, load it up, take it on out. And it's going to go about that quick, right, Rob? We're kind of counting on that. And then finally, it's going to look very much like that when it's completed, with a lot of the aesthetic treatments on the retaining walls and the slope walls leading into and out of the tunnel on both sides. So one of the interesting things is you saw very quickly in that tunnel excavation animation is it's actually 4 headings is what they call it. It's not just one heading just straight through. It's taken out 3 headings across the top. They take out a left and right side. Those are advanced offset. And then finally come back and take out the center pier, the pillar, create something of an arch effect on the roof of the tunnel, which is what you want to happen. And then they come back and take the bench out below that to open up the whole tunnel. The whole thing then has a couple of finished linings to create the final tunnel, and there's lots of electrical and HVAC type equipment that goes into the tunnel for the operation of it. Moving on to section 5, which is the main bridge. Saw in the first animation. I guess the features about that, it's a little bit longer than the downtown bridge, 2,500 foot. There'll be a 1,200 foot main span. There's a permanent 900 foot navigation channel that has to be maintained on the permanent structure. During construction, we have a 700 foot navigational channel that has to be maintained. The towers on this structure will be about 300 feet. And like I said, it includes the shared use path, which will connect from River Road on the Kentucky side over to Salem Road on the Indiana side. So, and eventually that'll be tied into the Louisville 100-mile loop is the plan. And on the Indiana side, I know the folks over there are talking about how to tie that into through Utica into Jeffersonville and in that area. And likewise, the bridge construction goes very quickly. They build the back spans first, coming out from either shore, and then the towers go up next. The tower cranes moving everything into place, and you can see the back spans are coming out now. There's the towers going up meanwhile, and then finally they cantilever all the main spans out into place, floating the sections, prefab sections downstream, put them into place and set them. So with the live webcam we have out there now, you can see that the bridge is now complete. You can drive over to see it. Section 6 is the Indiana side, and it has some pretty interesting features of its own. It's the longer of the sections, about 4 miles. It's going to connect back up to the existing State Road 265, where it now ends at the Fort Road interchange. So it's got about 4 miles of new terrain to cross to get to the new bridge. As much as Andy and his team have to deal with traffic issues, maintaining traffic and keeping folks moving on the downtown crossing, we're lucky in that we don't have that thing so much on the east end. We've got a little bit of that at Fort Road interchange we have to work with, but we're what they call a greenfield construction project, so we're pretty much new terrain. And Rob, I don't know, I guess you just don't have, you got something that they have to worry about downtown. You don't have to do that.
Good thing.
That is. Almost 2 million more yards of excavation on the Indiana side. The interesting thing here is that, like I said, on the Kentucky approach, a lot of that material is going downtown, but on the Indiana side, it's balanced. The amount of excavation is going to go into the fills. It's a cut and fill kind of situation. So again, we're not wasting material on the east end. 263,000 square yards of pavement there. 8 main line bridges, your typical interstate type bridge. Salem Road will be the first interchange on the Indiana side. And it's just out in the middle of nowhere right now, but that is going to be deconnected to the River Ridge Commerce Center and eventually also to the Port of Indiana. The Port Road interchange, 62, 265 interchange is being rebuilt. And one of the interesting things about that particular interchange is that it's currently it's designed as a roundabout style interchange. This shows the proposed layout over top of the existing layout. And so we got 265, 62, and Port Road labeled there. And you can see that 62 goes off to River Ridge on the top of that picture, off to the east. And then there are 3 proposed roundabouts, 2 at the 62 tie down, and 1 at Port Road interchange. And the design of the roundabouts is such that it'll be free flow movement. There are no traffic signals involved in this. This is continuous free flow movement throughout the entire interchange, and will provide levels of service for the interchange greater than what we had originally thought when we were moving toward a design build type procurement. So that's one of the features of that interchange. Our timeline is very similar to the downtown crossing. I know you can read all these things precisely here, but the real important date is right there on the bottom right, little flashing red dot. That's October of 2016, when the East End crossing will be done on Halloween and open to traffic. So, the green line that extends beyond that, some landscaping, we'll be planting grass and trees on beyond that, but you'll be able to drive by and see us doing that. So, and then as Andy mentioned, we want to make sure that you stay informed. So kynbridges.com is the place to get that information. If you want Andy's contact information or mine, it's there. Rod's contact information, if you want to call him, is there, as well as Walsh's contact information. Visit us on Facebook. Pay attention to the tweets, which is something I'm learning to do myself. So, with that, I think we're open to my questions.